A small town abandoned and forgotten by everyone lay in the heart of the American countryside, far from bustling metropolises and tourist routes. It seemed completely invisible to the outside world. No map, no signposts, or at least road signs leading to it. Time seemed to have frozen here, and every moment was like an instant frozen in the past. But not everything was as peaceful as it looked. Deep within this place, hidden among the vast forests and mountains, an unknown darkness existed. A shadow that was only felt by those who stayed too long in these parts. James, a young man who had moved here, hoped to find solitude and inspiration for his writing. He was looking for peace and quiet, which was to help him complete his new novel. He took up residence in an old house on the edge of town, an abandoned estate once owned by a mysterious scientist whose research remained forgotten and unappreciated by anyone. Every night, as he strolled through the empty streets, James noticed that the townsfolk looked at him warily. Their gazes, as if full of secrets, would not leave him alone. Every evening, as the city fell into silence, he began to hear strange rustles and light footsteps. But as soon as he turned around, everything was empty, as if the whole world around him had frozen. One day, late at night, on his way home, he noticed a figure standing by the old cemetery fence. It was a woman in a white dress, silent and motionless. She seemed to be waiting for him. James felt an unknown force beckoning him towards her, but as soon as he got closer, she disappeared as if she had never existed. When James returned to the house, he found a strange book on his desk that he had never seen before. The dim cover, with no author's name or title, caught his eye. Opening it, he came across a story about a forgotten tribe that lived in these woods. A tribe that could turn into animals, and a curse passed down through generations that led them to their deaths. But who had left this book in his house? And what if it wasn't an accident, but a prediction? The night was particularly cold when James couldn't sleep again. Suddenly, he heard a scraping sound coming from behind the window. Walking over to it and pulling back the curtains, he saw her again, the woman in white. She was standing right under his window. In her hands she held something that looked like a mirror, but in the dim light of the night it seemed to be something alive. James' heart beat faster, and he called out to her, feeling cold. But as soon as he opened his mouth, the woman disappeared, vanishing into thin air. Left in the darkness, all he felt was an icy cold that penetrated him to the bone. That night he couldn't sleep, so he opened the book again. Flipping through the pages, he came across strange symbols he couldn't understand. But one word immediately caught his attention: shadow, and another, change. He didn't know what it meant, but his gut feeling told him it was no accident. The next day, heading to the market, James noticed the locals avoiding his gaze, as if they were hiding something. An old man who met him on the street whispered, "You shouldn't have read this book, and you shouldn't be looking for its owner." But James couldn't stop. The strangeness and mysteries of this place haunted him, and he was determined to find out what the city was hiding and why it was pulling him into these dark corners. One night, James ventured into a forest that had been the subject of sinister rumors. The forest was thick, shrouded in mist, and seemed alive, as if every corner of it hid an ancient power. Drumming on the rough ground, he walked deeper and deeper, but with each step the sounds grew stranger: the creaking of trees, the crunching of leaves underfoot. Everything seemed part of an unknown, unnatural world. Soon he came upon a strange clearing where stood a stone archway covered with moss. It was mysterious, ominous, and it seemed that it was not just a structure, but something important, hiding a secret. James felt the air around him become dense, heavy, as if his surroundings were about to shrink. A figure appeared in front of him, a woman in white again, standing under the archway, holding a mirror on which the dim moonlight was falling. She didn't move, her face hidden in the darkness. As James stepped closer, he noticed that the mirror did not reflect his image. Instead, it was a window to another world, a world where reality and fantasy merged.
You have come, you're looking for answers, but you don't know what to look for.
What is this? Who are you?
You're looking for a forgotten truth, the one who came before you, but you are not meant to return. You have become part of it.
At that moment, the air around him became viscous, and the forest seemed to begin to move. The branches of the trees moved as if alive, reaching for him. Before James realized what had happened, the archway disappeared, and the forest swallowed him up, absorbing his fears and secrets. James woke up on the ground. His body felt strange. He felt his skin change, and his perception of the world became much brighter. He was connected to this forest, to this curse. Everything around him, even the air, seemed familiar, as if he was part of this place. When he returned to the city, it was different. People didn't notice him. Their faces became blank, devoid of emotion, as if they felt nothing. Everything he had sought, all the answers, seemed futile. He had become part of this town and forest. The strange books, the visions, the woman in white, it was not a delusion, but his own fate that he could not escape. He could not go back. The city had become his prison, and the shadow he had seen in the reflection of the mirror was now with him forever. His eyes were empty, and there was nothing else in them but the reflection of the shadow.